welcome back to my channel. So today I just want to show you how I upcycled this vintage lamp that I purchased from the Goodwill in my neighborhood. I paid $7 for it, and it was beautiful because it came with the crystals. Everything was fully intact and in great condition. Everything was sturdy. It was nice. It was a really good value. So I just want to show you how I kind of change it up and make it more so it can fit my dressing room that I have in my house. So to see how I do this, keep on watching. First thing I'm going to do is remove the lampshade, and I'm going to paint it with the base coat. All I did was use some gesso, white gesso paint, and just paint it. I didn't have anything else, but I just wanted to put a white base coat on it so that when I put my color on top of it, I didn't have to worry about the print showing through. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm painting it with the white gesso, and I'm working in the grooves of the skirt of the lampshade because you got to get the paint all up within that skirt. So you want to go ahead and paint your whole lampshade so that when you put your color on, it's evenly distributed. Right here, I just want to show you how to get into those grooves of the skirt of the lampshade because they're layered, and so you really want to take your brush and kind of tap at it to get the paint up in the crevices. There you go, it's all done. So now what we're going to do is try to get the body of the lampshade a different color. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the gems. And while I was removing the gems, a crazy thing happened. I ended up having to use my needle nose pliers, and then one of the crystals broke. I think it was the third one. Cracked. The circle part of the crystal cracked. The long stem part was fine. So what I ended up doing was going to Michael's, and I found, which I'll show you later on in the video, a string of beads that had the same shape as the circle part of the crystal, and I just replaced all of them. The ones that I bought were iridescent, not crystal clear like these, but I think it went together fine. I'm not upset with how it turned out, and you'll see. So now I'm just going to remove the shade and clean the body of the lamp. And then we're just going to take it outside and start to spray paint it. So the color I picked was a silver, sterling silver. And I began spraying the top piece of the lamp. But what happened was, as I began spraying it, once I got to the body of the lamp, I realized I was not liking the color. And you'll see the color it's a beautiful color. It's just what happens is I feel like the lamp was a little more antique, and the sterling spray paint made it look brand new. I felt like the lamp came from a different era, and so I wanted to stay with that theme. So when I sprayed it with the sterling silver, it just looked like something brand new, and to me it just didn't match. So what I ended up doing was going back over it. I didn't film it. I went back over the lamp body with a hammered copper spray paint. And what happened was, if you see right here, the silver wasn't completely dry when I went over it with the copper. But this is the effect that I got, and I actually like it. Some of it fully took, but most of it mixed and created this little interesting effect. But to me, it made it look more dated, and that's what I wanted. So I decided to just stick with it instead of going over it again with the hammered spray paint. Here, the silver shines through just a little bit. Gives it an interesting look. So now it's time for us to go ahead and paint the lampshade the color that we want. Mine is a lavender purple type color, and what I did was poured it out and just got me a good paintbrush and went ahead and started painting it. What I ended up doing is, once I painted one coat, I went in and I noticed that there were little spots missing. So I went back and I did 2 coats on it. So I did the first coat, I let it dry, and then I went back and did the second coat to fill in the spots that got missed along the way. And then of course you have to get into the skirt, which is, a little difficult because the material did begin to get a little stiff from the paint, which is fine. It wasn't super soft to begin with, but you got to make sure you get in all of those crevices because you want the paint to take everywhere. And then I just used the stipple effect with the brush tip to get the skirt. And now that it's fully dry on the outside, I took the paintbrush and I went ahead and painted the inside of the skirt so that it could all be one uniform color. And once again, I had to use that stipple effect on the inside to get the into all the crevices and the creases of the lamp skirt. And here is, sorry the camera got flipped the other way, but here is what the iridescent circle crystals look like when I replaced all of the old ones. That's the chain I got from Michael's. I think they cost me like $3, which was a great price. And so I just replaced all of those, the top part of the dangle crystal with the new one, so they all match. Now it's time to add our decorations and embellishments to the lampshade. So I couldn't decide. It took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to do. I was going to initially do a boa around the top and the bottom, and then I just felt like the colors weren't working out, so I went ahead and decided to do flowers. So you'll see here that I got these flowers from Michael. I think Michael's, they were $2.99 a package or $3.99 a package, and of course you just use a coupon. My mom had used the coupon and I used the coupon, and we bought both packs at a discounted price. So that's how you do that. And so I bought those together, and then those were additional paper flowers that were sold separately, but the colors were right, so I went ahead and picked those up to use kind of as fillers. And you need your E6000 glue to attach everything. I couldn't find my hot glue gun. I don't know if that would have worked as well as the E6000, but I did want it to be more of a permanent fix and not just come off easily. I don't use the glue gun that much. I use E6000 for a lot of craft projects. I'm not a fan of the hot glue, but it works, and I see a lot of YouTubers use it, but I went ahead and decided to go with the E6000. And there I am, just applying my first flower. I had picked the spot and put the flower on it, but then from then on I put the glue on the back of the flower and then apply it to the lampshade. I wanted a cascading effect. And the flowers are so pretty. They really go good together. I didn't have anything planned out or knew exactly what I was going to do with the flowers, so I kind of just went with the flow. And you'll see I'm squeezing them on because I want to make sure the back is also pressed up against it, against the flowers, the back of the lampshade, to make sure it's a nice, good grip between the flower and the glue and the lampshade. And now I'm just adding the filler flowers in. I used a little skew stick to put the glue on so they wouldn't get all over the place. And then I just add those on to fill in the spaces. And so that's the design I created with the flowers. So what I did at this point to make sure they didn't move around or slide, because sometimes it takes a while for the E6000 glue to set up properly, I put a container underneath of the lampshade and leaned it over to make sure that they would just glue and stay in place. So I let that stay there for like 24 hours and then came back the next day and reassembled the lamp. Oh, and while it was sitting up, the glue, I went in and took a small paintbrush and painted in the creases that still had some white. Well, once that was done, there's my dog Sasha. Once that was done, here's the final product in my dressing room. And I just love how it turned out. I just love the crystals that dangle from it, the antique look, the beautiful flowers. Yeah. And that was my craft project. So there's the upcycle of my lamp I got from the Goodwill. So let me know if you like it. What would you have done differently? Leave a comment. Hi, Sasha. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.